Good evening, everyone. Greetings all. I hope you're all having a very wonderful day. Thank you for joining us in person as well as in online. So I welcome you. This is our September public meeting. We got a couple of excitement announcements today about the survey that we did. We got the outcome, so we got the results of the survey. So we will go into those details. Just a couple of housekeeping rules. So this is streamed on Facebook as always, but I just want to let you guys know we won't be continuing to streaming on Facebook moving forward. We will be migrating to YouTube because of the Facebook limitations. So some of the videos with the new Facebook policies, they are removing the videos after 30 days or so. So we want to go into the YouTube. So we already have a YouTube channel, which we can happy to post on our Facebook as well. Please subscribe so that you get to watch it. So in moving forward, we might end up streaming in YouTube and putting those links in Facebook. So, but if you want to participate, if you want to comment or ask your questions, then you probably need to get into YouTube to post those things. So, but for today, we're on Facebook. So just want to let you guys know. And we also, if you want to keep up to date, please, subscribe for the newsletters and the feeds and all those things, so you get to know what's happening. We do have a mailing list, so if you want to get a notification on when the meetings are happening and stuff, so you get to see those things as well. And today, I want to welcome you all on behalf of the Gungahlin Community Council, and we have Michael and Shah. Shah is our secretary and Michael is our treasurer with us today from the Community Council as well. So I just want to acknowledge them, and we do have Andrew Braddock, MLA, so I want to acknowledge them as well. So great to see you all. Today's agenda, so as I said, we're going to have the 2025 GCC survey. The results are out. Already media started contacting us to have a chat about this, so it's kind of an exciting time. So it's this data, I'm pretty sure it'll be very helpful for many people, including the developers, government, politicians, anyone who has a stake on Gungahlin. They would be very interested to know this data. This would help Gungahlin to get into the next steps as well. And we also have, Block 2, Section 11 update for the 2030 project. So that will be presented by Tanya and John at later. So without further ado, we can jump into the survey one. Are we all excited? Yeah. Let's make some noise. And if you're online, get ready as well as you're having your dinner. All right. So we did the last survey, I think 2019 or somewhere around that time, prior to COVID. So it's good to see how we are doing what we are doing after COVID as well. So this is the survey, and I just want to acknowledge a couple of key stakeholders who helped us. The first thing is the Gungahlin Community Council executive team. As you know, everyone in the council, it's a volunteer. It's in ACT, it's different. It's not like our councils in New South Wales or other states. In ACT, it's purely based on volunteer work. So I do appreciate the team, for helping us, and also acknowledge Super Curious, our partner with the marketing, the next slides, and they helped us in terms of helping us with the survey, marketing, and all those things. So if we can move on to the next slide, please. They are the agency, the marketing agency, and they do a lot of other things as well. I just want to acknowledge them. They helped us voluntarily, so it's not costed anything for us, which is great. And also I want to acknowledge that how they want to help the community as well. So it's great. So, all right. So we're going to see a couple of items. So we're going to see about the key responses. What are the high level thing, and then the next I want to talk about key insights, and then we want to get into the deep dives of what the data is, and then I want to give you some kind of conclusion. But the conclusion is kind of what are the next steps, what are the things that we might like to do, which we are still working, but I'll put the draft one over here. All right, so with the responses, let's go and see. Just want to say this was started in 12th of August and concluded on the, 12th of May and closed on 31st of August. So we actually had a good runway for everyone to participate. And we have a massive 1,320 responses. So thank you so much, Gungahlin and the community beyond Canberra. So thank you so much for participating on this survey, because without you being part of this survey, we couldn't get any of this data. So this is a massive effort with 1,320. So I want to give you a round of applause to each one of you who participated. So thank you so much. And as you know, based on the response rate, we can predict that insight fall within a margin of error like plus or minus 2.5, which is considered excellent for community surveys. So this is a great thing as well. So the data quality is really good. Anything under 3 is considered very strong, while most professional polls aim for 3 to 5%. So we are below that margin, so which means we have got the really good data with us at the moment. So can we close the door, or it's already closed? Oh, okay, all right. No, it's all good. So just want to, so a couple of the insights based on the estimated population approaching 100,000 at the moment, reflecting the region growth from 87,000 in 2021 census. So the sample size for the survey is highly representative. So it's really good collective data. And I want to thank a couple of media people. If your name is not there, my apologies, we would have missed you. But in general, we want to thank the media who have been very supportive in terms of this initiative. We have a couple of articles, different across the different media. We have Region Riot Act. What's the new name? Region Canberra, and Canberra. Been on a couple of interviews with Canberra FM's, two CC interview. What do you call the 2CC FM, and also in the Canberra FM News Bulletin. I want to thank our representatives as well, local Arabi MLAs. I want to thank Andrew. I want to thank Leanne. I want to thank James. So they all shared the survey thing. So not if you don't ask me a question, did everyone share it? Because I would say no. But I want to thank the people who actually shared and encouraged us. And also want to thank Andrew Lee as well. So he also shared our survey. So it shows how some of our key stakeholders are very interested in this survey to get this quality data. And we also published on our website, on our Facebook. We did a lot of interesting posts as well. Did anyone in the room seen those posters that we made? Some of those no, you haven't seen some of those ones? No. But if you haven't seen some of those posters, go and check it out. We've done something very interesting so that people, would be tempted to see what is in there. So there's a lot of things happen on the Facebook as well. So that's the crux of it. So 1,320 responses for this survey. It's a very good data. And if you have shared, if you have commented, if you've been part of the survey, or if you never liked the survey but you still commented, which is all great, because it actually given us the marketing element so that we can reach many people. So which is great. Thank you so much once again. All right, let's get into it. So with the demographic mix, we have around 60 1% from the female, and male was 34% in terms of, and preferred not to answer was 3.6. So basically, it's a kind of a very interesting mix there, which is great. Most of the people who done this survey was sitting around the age group of 25 to 44, which is 40%, which is really great. And 45 to 64 was 42.2%, which is good. And 65 years plus 11.6, which is great. And 24 and under 2.7%. I think we have to work on that to see how we can reach that age group. But 2.7, it is great for this survey as well. And we do have a preferred not to answer, which is 2.7% as well. But overall, the age distribution is really good. So it got the good coverage of all kind of age groups, so which is great. And people, the location-wise, people living in Gungahlin, so 97.5% participated in this survey. And outside Gungahlin, it's 2.5. And, working outside the Gungahlin, I think that one kind of missed out one. But
working outside Gungahlin is they're not.
Yeah, that's
living in Gungahlin, but
working outside in Gungahlin, so which is kind of a 91%. All right, let's get into the next one, which is kind of a key insight. So what we found. So the major thing, you won't be surprised, and there's no surprise here, cinema delay continued to be a major community concern, because as you can see, 74.6% are concerned. And you need to talk, you need to ask me this question: how many phone calls I get every week? People asking me about cinemas and stuff. So 74.6% are concerned that ongoing cinema delays the negative impacts that community and the local economy. So it's also impacting the economy in Gungahlin. And this represents the clearest frustration with infrastructure delivery. So this is a very, very serious thing. And the entertainment services are the top missing amenity in Gungahlin. So as you can see, we don't have much of entertainment facilities in Gungahlin. 67.3% want more entertainment services in the town centre. By far the highest demand among the commercial outlets. This directly connects to the cinema issue and broader nightlife entertainment gaps as well. So there is a lot of connectivity here. And the traffic flow in the town centre is another primary concern as well, and the transport priority. 52.6% identify the traffic flow in Gungahlin Centre as a top road priority, significantly higher than any other transport issues. And this suggests the daily congestions that people see and the frustrations around the rounds near the town centre. All right, the greater need for the connectivity across the major hubs. So at the moment, because we don't have enough employment opportunity in Gungahlin, people has to move every day. I would call it exodus that happens every day. The only thing we are missing, Moses. Moses is not leading that exodus, right? But you know what? Mostly everyone is going outside Gungahlin, and 74.1% support the trial rapid bus service to other major employment service. So 74.1%. So people always ask me about the data. Here it is the data that I want to provide. So give us the connection so that people from here can go and work at Warden or Brindabella Park or Tuggeranong, wherever it is, because there's no facility, there's no public transport that directly connects to this one. So 74.1% supports the trial rapid bus. And 91% of the respondents' places of work were outside of Gungahlin. 91%. So that's the reason you can see that massive exodus that happens every day on the roads. 91%, which is significant data. So which means we don't have enough employment opportunities in Gungahlin, which is kind of a very sad state. Healthcare service. This is very interesting. 71.7% who finds current healthcare provision is not enough for the growing population. 71.1%. And out of them, 46.3 want the healthcare services plus a hospital. You know, we missed a golden opportunity putting a Northside hospital in Gungahlin. We should have done it because that's what the community wanted it. And we always wanted the employment hub and all those things. So that would have been really good boost for the Gungahlin community as well. But, you know, it's never too late because we are still growing. But 46.3% out of that 71.7 want the healthcare services plus a hospital. So the need for an hospital, it's not a it's not a kind of a dream kind of thing. It is the desire of Gungahlin. And sorry, can you just? And 25.4 says the more healthcare services needed. So altogether, you know, it's a 71.7% needs more healthcare facilities in Gungahlin, which we are lacking truly at this stage. Thank you. Community wants more economic development support. You know, 82.8% believe that ACT government should adopt a strategy, targeted strategy to attract commercial business. So which means we have to, you know, the government has to do something to attract them, to give them some subsidy, encourage the business to invest in Gungahlin so they don't go anywhere else. So 82.8 believe the ACT government should adopt some kind of strategy and planning. So these things are very good. This shows strong consensus on needing more economic intervention. So we need this because if you're planning for future, if you don't act now, it's going to be really, it's going to be not looking good in few years' time. Overwhelming support for the community consultation, 88.3% support more community consultation on major infrastructure. So at the moment, we don't see that happening often. And we need to be part of anything that happens in the Gungahlin. Community wants to be part of that consultation process. And, you know, it also tells that, you know, people in the Gungahlin Community Council, plus not just the Community Council, but the wider community wants to be part of any major activities that's going to happen in Gungahlin. People wants to be in the seat of making decision-making things about whatever the infrastructure that's going to be coming in Gungahlin. Cool. So now we saw this view on those ones. So let's get into some of the deeper things. So let's deep dive to those other things. The commercial and entertainment amenities, right? So this is kind of one of the ongoing issue that's been people, asking us, and we get several emails every day from different names, but the same thing comes up, saying we want this and this and this, and the next day we'll get someone else, same thing, comes with this and this. And, you know, I can understand the frustration that people are, going through it. That's why we did this survey, and this data should support, what we were asking. 52.6% of respondents want more electrical and household goods stores in Gungahlin. So, which is kind of, telling that people are, at the moment, they have to go to Fishwick or Belconnen to get those things. There's a gap in the retail infrastructure at the moment in Gungahlin. And fashion and clothing options, I think we don't have much as well. 40.3% seek more fashion clothing retailers, pointing to limited shopping in the town centre. And with the specialty stores, like 29.4% suggest that, want more diverse retail experience as well. So, again, we need some variety in the fashion as well. Nighttime hospitality gaps, 36.9 cite insufficient hospitality options as preventing night visits to town centre, while 69.6 wants restaurants opens at 9. So some kind of nightlife, people are expecting nightlife in the Gungahlin town centre, which would also significantly help the economy in the Gungahlin and the social life as well. And department store needs, 35.7% want department stores. suggesting residents lack convenient access to one-stop shopping experience and are likely to travel to other districts for comprehensive retail needs. So I'm not, I think if I'm going to ask a question like how many of you go and shop in the town centre, or would you go over to the other districts? So probably everyone, some of you would avoid because of this congestion and all those parking issues in the town centre as well. So it's all kind of going back to the same issues we were talking about previously. All right, let's get into the next one, please. In this one, the commuter route pressures. 29% identify improving commuter routes in and out Gungahlin as priority, while 82% drive their own car to work. This heavy car dependency indicates public transport alternatives are insufficient for the growing population, right? So which shows in a significant 82%, because we compare 91% goes out of Gungahlin to work, and 82% use their car to get into the work. So which have a major problem. Now we don't have a good public transport at the moment. People always say it's a light rail, but light rail doesn't go everywhere, as you all know. So we need to improve the public transport. Also, we also need to improve the infrastructure. So you can't say we don't need to duplicate roads. The roads needs to be duplicated. And I've been to one of those meetings where they're saying, oh, you don't need it because we're going to fix it through public transport and stuff. Just want to say, even with the cities like Singapore, look at the roads. They are bigger, wider. They still have public transport and stuff. They have very good public transport, but still the roads are well maintained and the roads are wider. So you still need to duplicate those roads. So here, 82% drive their own car at work because we don't have a proper public transport. And 74.1 support the trial rapid bus service to the major employment, which we've seen in the previous slides as well. So which means we need a connectivity to Warden, we need connectivity to Brindabla Park, Fishwick, Tuggeranong, wherever the employment hubs are, we want those connectivity. At least government should put the trial, the bus, the trial bus, which was proposed ages back and which never got implemented for whatever reason. But it was in the radar at one stage and it's been removed for whatever reason. But we really need that trial rapid bus service, at least to start with. Preferred would be a permanent bus option to connection to those employment hub. If it's not can be done, then at least you have to go with a trial option. So this is a need of the community. And road duplication priorities. No surprises here. 24.8% want the Barton Highway flyover to be updated. That's kind of a problem one. It comes in the top 10 accident zones as well in Canberra. So 24.8 wants that kind of a upgrade to that one, maybe a bypass or a flyover or whatever it is, but that needs to be updated. And roundabout with the lights, it's a very interesting place. 24.1% want Osborne Drive duplicated, and 22.9% wants Gungahlin Drive duplicated, showing the systematic pressures on our road, and it needs to be upgraded. We don't want to be the community of reactive approach, but we want to be a proactive approach in terms of infrastructure. And public transport ratings. The light rail scored 3.75 out of 5, highest transport rating, while the buses scored 2.3 out of 5, indicating the residents see the light rail is successful for getting into the civic, but buses need the significant improvement. And this parking preference, one of the questions was about what do you like the parking preference would be. 43.3% prefer multi-story parks over the other parking solutions. So I think we don't have any kind of a multi-story parking facility at the moment in Gungahlin, so it should be a good data to significantly to say that 43.3% prefers multi-story, which is a much needed thing. I've seen multi-story in other districts, but we don't see that kind of things in Gungahlin at this stage. Okay, and this is about the community safety and security issue, which we have been at the early stage of this year. We had ACT police coming into this, and we had Minister for Police, we had the Shadow Minister for Police, because there was a huge, demand in the community about ongoing issues about all those things in terms of burglary, in terms of attempt to theft, and all those issues. This was one of the important questions in the survey. Home innovation and burglary concerns. 42% are concerned about the home innovation and burglary, making it the second highest safety concern after dangerous driving, right? And this indicates property crime is a significant community worry. So that's the data we have. And car theft, 34% are concerned about the car theft, suggesting vehicle-related crime is prominent in residents. Daily safety consideration may be affecting the lifestyle choices as well. So this is another significant data that's coming out. And police visibility deficit. 43.1% want more police visibility. I just want to call out, it doesn't matter what what the political party think on in terms of political view of policing and not, but this is what the community wants. So, so listen to the community, which is 43% want more police visibility, indicating current law enforcement presence doesn't match the community expectation for a growing district as Gungahlin. All right, the traffic safety as security issues. 28.7 cite traffic concerns as a safety issues, showing residents view dangerous driving not just as a transport problem, but the threat affecting quality of life. So that's a significant thing as well. So in terms of traffic issues, I'm not sure what's the regulations on accepting the overseas license and stuff. So we should probably need to make sure, the licensing and, who gets the license and what are those things happen in the background should be checked, because that's another safety issues in the community as well. All right. Now let's gonna get into the recreation and community facilities. So barbecue and picnic area demands. 35% want more barbecue, which is great. And summer is coming soon, so it'll be really good. And this is also a great opportunity for the young family. As you know, the Gungahlin is kind of a different demographic compared to other districts. So young families would be, it'd be really good family event to have that barbecue facilities. And public toilet infrastructure, 32.7 prioritize more public toilets, suggesting basic amenities haven't kept pace with the population growth. So we need to work on that as well. So it is kind of a common sense these things. So I don't know, we don't really need to do these things as part of the survey, but because, where we are now, so we need to ask these questions as well, so which shows the community concern. And walking path network, 30.2% want more walking path, indicating the residents value active transport. So active transport is one of the key things. So 30.2% want some kind of active path, as well. This kind of a great thing to look into it, because active transport is one of the key things as well. In community event space storage, 27.8% want more event spaces like community halls, while 59.5% would attend events. If there is an event conducted in Gungahlin, so there you go, the data is 59.5% would be attending those one. And this also shows the demand of community gathering places, exceeds current supply. So we, as a community, we want those spaces in Gungahlin. Thank you. Then let's get into the environmental and sustainability bit. So nature strip maintenance priority, 63.3 prioritize better nature strip maintenance, making it the highest environmental concern. And if you look at the next one, increased grass mowing demand, 50.61 increased grass mowing in park areas. The spring is here, so the grass is here as well. So, we have seen in the past there was a lot of the lack, delay in that in that space, but the community wants like increase in grass mowing in park areas, suggesting current maintenance schedules don't meet the community standards. So definitely it's something to look into it. And the tree and shrub planting support, 44.4. One increased tree shrub planting, indicating residents value environmental enhancement, but see current urban forestry effort as insufficient. And this is one of the things as well. So 44.4% wanted that. And art waste collection needs, 43.9% prioritize art waste collection pickups, suggesting current waste management service don't match the growing need of the population. So we need to have better management of how we're going to collect those art waste collections in Gungahlin. Let's get into the next one. Public services and governance. Targeted business attraction, 82.81 government strategies, as I said previously. Can't emphasize this enough, but we want something from the government to come up with some kind of innovative approach or subsidy or attract the commercial business. Gungahlin, because 90% population going out to work outside Gungahlin, which means there is a great opportunity for this kind of a government initiative to come up with a strategy to attract those commercial business. That also would help the Gungahlin economy. Infrastructure consultation demand, 88.3% want more community consultation on major projects, including residents feel excluded from decisions affecting their daily life, and want greater democratic participation. Planning documents awareness gap. Over 85% of residents had not heard of key government documents affecting Gungahlin. For example, transport plan, master plan, etc. 85% doesn't know about that. With less than 2% having read them, this reveals significant room for improvement for communication and government planning efforts with community engagement. So there needs some more kind of engagement. If the current and the way they are engaging doesn't work, they need to come up with something different. Cool. And as part of the conclusion, I would just want to say some of the key things here. This is the 2025 Gungahlin survey, with a population of 100,000 in the district, with 91% workers commuting outside Gungahlin daily. The community faces significant transport pressure while lacking adequate commercial amenities, entertainment options, healthcare services to match its rapid growth. The data shows the residents aren't simply complaining about the inconvenience, they are identifying the systematic gaps between population growth and service delivery that affects the daily quality of life. The survey's high response rate and statistical robustness provide a strong mandate for action. Most significantly, 88% want more community consultation. 83% support targeted strategies to attract the business in Gungahlin. The challenge now lies in the responding to these clearly articulated community needs with urgency and scale that Gungahlin continue to grow demands. So what I was trying to put some kind of a high-level points, what the next steps are, but that's kind of a draft one, so I can quickly run through some of those draft things that I prepared. So we want the government to do action on this one, development of Gungahlin Cinema and Entertainment Precinct, invest in recreational and community facilities aligned with survey priorities, improve road infrastructure and trial rapid bus service, expand the healthcare service, including planning for a local hospital, enhance safety measure and environmental maintenance, increase transparency and community involvement in the planning process. I think this is also missing a couple of other items, such as government's investment in Gungahlin in terms of bringing those job opportunities into Gungahlin. The future, I think this is for the super curious, so thank you so much for helping us with this, all those ones. But I think that's the crux of this thing. I think you can jump out of the... So we will be publishing this on our website. as well, and then sending all those detailed information on each and every question, how the community has reacted and stuff, so you can take it on your own and chew it and spend some time in making an actionable format. What we are trying to do at the moment is once we got everything consolidated, we want to go and meet our representatives. So we'll come and talk to the Arabi MLAs. We'll go and talk to Andrew Lee. We'll go and talk to the senators. And then what they want to take away. What's their takeaway out of this survey? How they're going to make this as an actionable plan in their parliament or in the legislative assembly, wherever it is. Because I think now it's a great opportunity, because you can't come up with an excuse like federal government is run by a different party and state is a different party. But now that excuse game doesn't work anymore, considering the parties are the same in both federal and ACT. So I think it's a great opportunity for government to step in. It is a great great time to be living in Gungahlin, because this outcome of the survey going to determine the future of this community. So because people are planning about 2030, 2040, 2050, I think this data would definitely help to go move forward. So we will meet our representatives with all these things, and we will move forward in terms of what we want to achieve, and hopefully our representatives will listen and make it as an actionable thing, and we can achieve something, because there's a great opportunity for big departments to come, but there are also other opportunity for other private business to come into the Gungahlin as well. So thank you once again. I hope you all find it very useful in terms of data, which is really great. And thanks once again for the community, and thanks once again for all the media and all those members of the Parliament and Legislative Committee for sharing our survey links as well. So thank you so much with that one. All right. Thank you. You can clap. Yeah. Thank you. So next one, which is the Block 2, Section 11, 2030, the project name, I think. So I'll request Tian and John to come and take us over to the presentation. Thank you.
So this clips on?
Yeah, it just clips on.
Well, this is supposed to clip on. I might just hold it. Okay. Right. I'm Tanya Parks. I'm a social planner, and this is John Sousa, who's the developer of this project. We're going to give you a little update as to what's been happening on the site, which you can see over there. It's been a bit of a journey. I see Tom and other consultants laughing at the back. I certainly came on to this project about 2020 and started listening to what the Gungahlin Community Council was saying about the needs and wants of the local community. But John being John went over and above with the research. And so there were focus groups done and a lot of research, which actually came up with very much the outcomes of your 2025 survey, which shows they've been asking for for similar things and bringing up similar issues for a very long time. So this is the website, Gungahlin 2030. And that's the QR code for it. And there's a holding website up there, because from the presentation you will see that we are going a little backwards. So we're coming to you to give you an update to tell you what's coming up. However, we will be back on the 8th of October at your next meeting to give you a full outline of the project, and also some of the community consultation outcomes we have been able to assess in that time. Might go to the next. Okay. So, I'll start talking about this, and we'll get John to hop in anywhere you want to, John. So you can see where this site is and the context.
So it's right in the centre of the town centre. So the yellow would represent the 6 core sites.
Sorry, John.
Thank you.
Sorry, I'll start again. So the yellow represents the 4 existing core sites. So they're the ones you would be familiar with, you know, Big W, Woolworths, the old Aldi and the Coles. This site that we're looking at today forms part of the yellow block to be developed. And then there's the site that fits in the 6, which is the one that's got the DHA building and the proposed cinema. So they effectively represent the core of the Gungahlin Town Centre.
Yeah. So you might ask, what is G2030 or what is Gungahlin 2030? Why have we called that site by that name for the moment? That's not the final marketing. However, we needed to call it something. And the vision was, or the aspiration is, to create an 18/7 precinct. So 18 hours of the day, 7 days a week, to be active, for there to be some nightlife. The 2030 comes up in the aspiration looking towards what is Gungahlin going to need in 2030, what do people want in 2030. So the focus groups that were done by McCrindle, and when you go onto the website, there are tabs you can have a look at what some of this information is, which actually complements the 2025 survey. It comes up with, so the aspiration, as I was saying, sorry, I lost my thought there for a minute. Aspiration was for 2030, and the research has been done by a group of very creditable consultants who do some multinational consultants as well as local consultants with local information to come up with this 2030 concept. What's proposed for the site? It's primarily going to be a commercial site. It's going to have hotel, office, commercial accommodation and residential. The residential components include a contractual land purchase requirement to deliver 50 affordable housing, affordable apartments. ACT government has a preference to convert this contractual land obligation into long-term affordable rental apartments. So what's proposed for the site is a mixed-use development that will have many of the features that Gungahlin community have been asking for. What's the land what's permitted to be there? Well, the site is within the CZ1 core zone. The proposal is considered under the territory plan, the 23 territory plan, including the EO2 commercial zones policy, Gungahlin district policy, urban design guide and biodiversity sensitive urban design guide. That's a lot of guides and policies. One of the interesting things with coming up with the 2030 was the discussion. We had several consultant team discussions, whether it's in this room, I'm not sure, or the room,
next door.
the room next door, where we all got together and had workshops on what is it people are going to be looking for. And in terms of sustainability, John will talk about this more probably next time we're here, but one of the really interesting things that came up was using geothermal energy and how the architecture can reflect the needs of geothermal construction so that people can actually experience how do I explain it? That people can experience the sustainability features while they're in the building. So that it's a little bit different that way. Now, what's allowed under the Crown lease is all the things we've been talking about, but interestingly, what's required is an anchor tenant. So we've got to have an anchor tenant, and cinema is permitted. So that's a very interesting, not a requirement, but an allowability.
It's allowable. So
Yeah.
I might jump
Yeah.
in at this particular point. So Henley and team, thanks for the insights on the community consultation. You mentioned that survey results will be online, and we'll have a good look at those findings and see how much we can align our particular offering. And as Tanya had mentioned, a lot of that seems to have been a common theme through previous surveys, and a lot of the sort of work that's happened over time and it's published. There's the master plan, there's Gungahlin East, so a lot of those questions and feedback is very consistent.
Transport plan as well.
Transport plan, so all those sort of aspects. So it's I've been in development for a very long time, and so I think my first project was down here somewhere in Palmerston, the early 90s, and I've been involved in development with the JV partner through Gungahlin for a whole working life. Very rarely do you work on a project to be able to help transform Gungahlin, but also have the objectives of what the community wants in alignment with not only with the project but the planning system. So we have a really unique opportunity where we've got great alignment. We just need to work through the bureaucracy to deliver that on this particular project. So what we see there is the town centre. This is a piece by Urbis back in 23. What this highlights is, I guess, the dysfunction that currently exists in the town centre. There's a bulky goods retail, and if you look at the heat maps, the most active part of the town centre today is actually Bunnings on a Saturday. So that's our town centre. It's effectively empty at night, as we well know. We're all travelling. But there's all this growth, there's all this land. So the Gungahlin East is under planning. So the SLA were here last month talking about studies and changes. The Gungahlin land release program that was announced has earmarked 3,000 apartment lots being released in the town centre over the next 5 years. So the town centre, as you see it, will be very, very different in a decade. And we feel we play a critical part of that. Now, we're not here today to talk you through all the detail. We'll do that on the 8th, as we mentioned. The last slide will show the other dates that we're prepared to talk, that we'll be also presenting the full detail. But the next slide, if you just jump to it, just show some of the journey and just highlights, I guess, all the components that have helped inform this vision. I'm not going to go through it in detail, but I'll give you a high level. As Tanya mentioned, we started in 2020. It's now 2025. A lot less grey hair back then looking at some photos. I'm not going to attribute it all to the project, but it certainly has played a role. So 2025, We ran an architectural competition. We went to some of the best architects in Australia that develop retail centres with different uses on top. We got really excited with the proposals. Cox Architecture Sydney Canberra was selected as the preferred architect, winning the competition. They're still on the project. They'll be presenting in a couple of weeks' time. But back then, we were looking at the retail development potential, the entertainment precinct vision, the hotel viability. So quite quickly we realised that a gap existed and the feasibility was available. We introduced the company down here, Landini. They'll be presenting in a couple of weeks' time. They're one of, not only Australia's, one of the world's best retail brand consultants. So they're working on Selfridges in London, but at the same time they're working locally on upgrades of Aldi. They're presenting next week. They've been on the job since 2020, helping inform this entertainment precinct vision that the community is calling upon as fundamental to our project offering. Realising what the market wanted and what was economically viable, we actually started a process of consulting the various government stakeholders. So the back end of 2020, we were out there talking to the various government stakeholders, and if you look closely, roads and traffic have been the biggest issue. It came out through the survey. Unless the roads and traffic can support this type of project, or the right access can be introduced for a fairly large retail offering, we're talking about in excess of 1,000 public car parks on this particular project. It was a no-goer. We've already got issues that the residents are avoiding the town centre because of difficulties of getting in and out of car parks. So we put forward a proposal which provides all that parking in a generous environment, in a convenient environment, in a way it's not quite multi-storey that the community is asking for, but it's convenient, it's quick, it's clean. So since 2021, it was like the Gungahlin Community Council got heavily involved. Actually, I'm just switching on my notes. Somewhere here on this iPad. Oh, there it is.
John mentioned coming back, and we'll get to the consultation dates, but while John's just getting his notes, the first of the consultation sessions will be out on the 23rd of this month at the Gungahlin Lakes Golf Club, and it'll be a really interesting evening because we'll have some of these people who John's been mentioning, like the Landini group. Someone from Landini will be there to talk about the retail offering. So there'll be there'll be architects from Cox to talk about the architecture. So there'll be it'll be a very interesting night. So I hope you can all come.
Our placemaker, so Village Well, Jennifer will be present. She's played a key role. So yeah, you can see those dates listed there. The 23rd's more of a sort of presentation style, but we'll follow up with a virtual consultation. There'll be a site visit available to ask questions, and then we'll follow up with the similar presentation in a month's time.
Yeah, so in between here, we'll be back here to give you all this information that we share at these consultation sessions. So I think it's the 8th of October, the next... Is it the 8th or 3rd? The next consultation...
The next one is the 8th of October.
Yeah, so in between here, we'll be back on the 8th of October, and we'll give you a full presentation, everything that will be shown up there. But do come to this meeting because it'll have all the different multinational consultants as well as national consultants there to explain this. It's a very exciting development and responds very closely to the survey for entertainment, for retail, for commercial. John, do you want to go back to
So if you just jump back to that slide.
Yeah.
So just picking up where I was before. So 21, 22, 23, the future of the town centre was debated extensively. There was multiple studies, multiple motions. Andrew's smiling. That there was debate, legislative inquiries through that period. There was DB364. There was a master plan. There was a new territory plan. There was active travel for the town centre. The Gungahlin East ambition. Finally, the new territory plan came out, which put forward its view for what the town centre should be. It then went to a public inquiry. It finally then got implemented roughly about here in 2024. So we've very much been on the sidelines waiting to see what the planning system will say to align with what the community wants and what we can introduce as a development. I sit here today with confidence that most of that is in alignment. The reason we're not able to share the project today is we're faced with some more bureaucratic delays. So we're hoping that a couple of weeks gives us time to work through some of those bureaucratic delays, because we actually can't push forward with our project without some of these roadblocks removed. Probably not the right forum to work through those details. Happy to discuss afterwards. But without those roadblocks removed, the project that we've been working on for 5 years that the community is asking for through its survey cannot push forward because of some technicalities. So that's just the nature of planning in this particular city. But since taking on the project, kicking on the project, we went through with placemaking, as Tanya had mentioned, traffic modelling. So the Gungahlin Transport Plan had earmarked some changes that will help the functioning of the town centre. So we're in alignment with those changes that are needed, and next week we'll be able to open up on what's being proposed. We actually went through to the design review panel. So for a project of this scale, there's a requirement to go through this independent process. There was strong endorsement for the project, so that's encouraging. We then went back and got a bit of a beating because they weren't quite happy with some of the traffic measures that their own department had recommended. But anyway, that's another story. Since then, the Gungahlin Transport Plan has been formally released, and we've been in a series of meetings with government and entities actually over the last 3 or 4 months, working through some of the technical details around power, water, surveying practices, all the complex city waste, traffic movements, EPA, emergency services, which is why we've been able to identify some of these bureaucratic processes that are currently holding us up. Today we were in discussions with Pedal Power, looking at some options around active travel and being able to improve the network in and out of our development. So there's really good alignment between us. This week we've had some success. There's a tree on site, so we've had some endorsement from the conservator around that tree being removed and the active hollows that are there being relocated somewhere locally. So that's a first. And then obviously taking on some of the feedback from the survey that was released today. That's all I was going to say, just give you a bit of a flavour, a bit of the journey that we've been on. I feel bad that we're not able to present it, but if you tune in come in on the 23rd, we'll reveal all, and Even our traffic person will be here to answer technical questions.
Can we go to the next slide, please? Henley, on the 23rd of September, we're having, as I mentioned, we're having this consultation. We're bringing all our consultants there to give information about what this is. But we would very much appreciate it if the council would present the survey. Would you be willing to present the survey at that?
I need to look into the calendar.
Yeah.
But yeah, please send us the invite and
Yeah.
we'll come back to you. Yeah.
Okay, great. So, I mean, I just thought of this because of the synergies between, I have to say this, the acoustics aren't too good here.
We did ask to turn it down, a couple of us.
But the synergies are there between the survey and this. We'll be blasting through. The synergies are there between the information, between the data, and between that and what is being proposed at Gungahlin 2030. There's some, even it's a holding site until the 23rd, so that website is now live, and there is some basic information there. From the 23rd, there will be, the full website will be up with all the information and hopefully a video of our presentation on the 23rd. So do come to that. These dates are on the website and you can register for the first two. And this, the site visit is just a pop-up, so you can turn up there. I'm hoping the weather will be clement for us on that day. There was something I mentioned. We have the online session there. On the 23rd also, we will be, it'll be different. It'll be a different sort of consultation, okay? It'll be more entertaining in that there'll be a lot of information from some very good, well-informed speakers there. So it'll be an enjoyable evening. We'll put some tea and coffee on and we'll make it informal but useful. There was so we haven't put the 8th October session up there for the GCC. The 23rd, I had a thought in my head that has gone. 23rd, the full website will be up, and now I've remembered that focus group information that I referred to earlier will be on the website from the 23rd as well. The focus groups were done by McCrindle, and that's a copy there of their report. So before the survey was done in 2020, was it, or 2022?
2022.
We got, John got McCrindle to do some focus groups because we were wondering who's going to be in the community in 2030 and what is it they're going to want. So they did the focus groups, properly done with getting the right demographics, etc. And so that data is actually quite significant. And we're happy to share that with you as well, Henley.
Yeah, so that's available on the website now, actually, the
That
research.
one,
And
yeah.
there's, as Tanya mentioned, the alignment with the survey. And focus groups are a little different. It's a bit more qualitative. You get a chance to dig down and drill into a bit more detail. So when we talk about traffic, you can actually go down and what it means, and and be specific. So that's available online now, and we go back to it regularly to inform the design. We ask questions around natural light and what you want the centre to have and look like. And so that's a useful piece that works concurrently with the recently released survey.
And it's also particularly interesting about what McCringle thought, who your neighbours might be in 2030 and what they might be desiring. From tomorrow, from that site, into a radius of 1 kilometre, there will be commencement of postcards being delivered with this information so that the Gungahlin community can join us at the community consultations. So for within a 1 kilometre radius of the site, we will start delivering tomorrow morning if the rain stops, and we don't want to deliver pulped up postcards, but as soon as the weather is suitable enough to start delivering, the idea is from tomorrow to start delivering postcards that will provide this information so that people who don't see this on Facebook and who won't see some of the marketing for our consultations will have a postcard go into their letterbox, as well as to businesses around.
Easy. All right.
Yeah.
I'll just leave you on one last point, which comes from this survey, and the future really of the town centre really excites the community. So for a long while, they've always thought, why does the town centre not have the functionality and entertainment that exists in a Woden or a Belconnen, or even to a Tuggeranong to a lesser extent? So when we put this project to them and asked the questions, that came through. So we hope we can build some excitement and some interest around this particular project, and bring forward the town centre to 2030 as we suggest.
Anyone have any questions at this stage? I know we haven't given very much. We'll be back on the 8th of October, so have your questions ready.
Surely, thank you so much. Surely we will have more questions when you come back on next one, so it sounds promising. Thank you. We're almost done, but want to acknowledge Andrew's here. Andrew, do you have any quick updates? Sure. Yeah, not more than 5 minutes. Yeah.
I can keep it short.
Yeah.
And leave time for questions too. So thank you all. Andrew Braddock, Greens member for Yerrabee. Firstly, really want to say big congratulations and thank you to the Gungahlin Community Council for that survey. It is very impressive to see that level of response and the consistent themes coming through. I unfortunately could not type fast enough, so I'll be very appreciative when you do send me through, and looking forward to the conversations about how we can work together on that. In terms of reporting back what's been happening, most of the focus has actually been on territory-wide because we've had estimates and we're gearing up for budget debate next week, so there's been a lot of focus on that. Some of the issues also I've been looking at is, you might not be aware of it, but the multicultural community has been hurting a lot from recent March for Australia rallies and some comments that have been made. And so been liaising with them about that and helping as best as we can. Also been looking at, for example, electricity network reliability issues in the suburb of Taylor and some of the adjacent suburbs there. They've experienced quite a number of blackouts, so we've just been working through that one. Most of the constituent matters this month have just been very local stuff, like footpaths, lighting, the trees. It's sort of the bread and butter of being an MLA, but that's good. Also, just in terms of working with the Canberra Environment Centre to install a bicycle maintenance stand there, just to help members of the community be able to utilise that. But otherwise, I'm very happy to answer any questions that anyone may have. Yes. Yep.
With the new territory plan, there's been a little bit of, from what we've seen in mixed-use development sites, they're treated in a way that it's a residential area with a little bit of commercial use, but then it's treated as a commercial zone for bulk and form in a development. What's kind of happened is the Territory Planning Authority has not wanted to have public consultation or to be able to refer a development approval back for review to the ACAT by saying it's a residential development. However, we're kind of bridging that gap by getting ACAT on side. Might go to the Supreme Court to get a different, interpretation. Mm-hmm. But what's happening is that the community is losing the ability to actually make comment and be heard when it comes to development matters. And where you can get like a mixed-use development zone, which is a 32 metre long side boundary, and the potential is you can have a 4-storey high wall from one end of the boundary to the other with a residential building right next door with a zero setback. Mm-hmm. With the Territory Planning Authority not understanding that, they've got to consider fire controls, sound, amenity, airflow, yep, access to light. So it's a little bit of a battle going on. Have you heard anybody ask you those questions yet?
Not in terms of that specific site. If we want to go into the details of that, please stay behind and we'll talk through those exact details. In terms of what I'm hearing is a common issue is community members will be provided a submission as part of the development approval process, and what sometimes happens is as a result of community feedback or where the development application, let's say, contravenes the territory plan, there might be a period of negotiation between the planning authority and the developer before they settle on what would be an improved development application. And from what I've been hearing is there's not an opportunity for the community to provide input during that sort of negotiation back and forth as to whether that actual negotiated outcome addresses the community concern. And that's the level of consultation that I've heard problems with, and I'm sort of looking at what we can do to address it. But I'll be keen to sort of know the exact site you're talking about and discuss a bit more detail about the specifics on that one. Sure, it doesn't seem like, just please wait to the microphone. I was just struggling to hear you given the rain and plus the competition we're getting from next door.
So the second question concerns other people, my neighbours. Back to the mixed use zone. They're residential leases with up to 80 square metres which can be used with up to 80 square metres that can be used for commercial purposes within the dwelling. Mm-hmm. So this is the mixed-use sites. And what ACT Revenue's been doing for the last 20 years, they've been charging 100% commercial rates for people who have a business in their home. Yep. We put that to, some of the residents have asked me, what can you do? And I said, write to the ACT Revenue office. They came back and said they gave some people a little discount for a while, then they changed their mind. And then more recently, we approached the Chief Minister before the election and said to him, look, you've do something about this. And so if we called it somebody's using 80 square metres of their home, where they would be normally charged $3,000 rates, and if they rent it out, the property, another $5,000 land tax. Instead of paying that, they're paying $23,000 in commercial rates.
Yep.
And that's unethical. And we said you can go back to the Rates Act, and you can see with a unit development, like you can say this is commercial, this is residential, they've already got the formula there. There's that little gap for mixed-use residential buildings where the ACT Revenue Office is choosing to charge commercial rates for even the smallest uses of commercial, even though the home-based business under the Territory Act, which is not a commercial use. So the Chief Minister, I said to him before the election, can you help these people? My neighbours, they come here to see me now, but they don't know what to do. Half of them, English second language, and they don't know how to communicate this to you. But all you have to do is, fix it up. And you say, well, I can't fix it because I've got to go to the Legislative Assembly. He said, no, you can fix it as Treasurer by writing a regulation. You have the power to write a regulation and notify us. All you've got to do is say, this is how it's going to be worked out. Can you do it? That's now gone to the new Treasurer. So Andrew Barr, unfortunately, is
No longer Treasurer.
through on that one. And so there's a meeting tomorrow with Andrew Barr and the residents to see if they can work something out. I realise this is going to have a major impact on the budget, which you're going to be estimates next week, you said, because just in the two streets, Strayleaf and Phyllis Ashton Circuit, where you've got potentially 42 businesses, I think there's an extra $600,000 per year made out of those just few homes. But we've got a situation where somebody's renting out, like this, Salvation Army, something, they're getting $35,000 a year rent. They're having to pay on their block $28,000 commercial rates, then commercial insurance. So the whole of the rental income is paid on just two costs: commercial rates and upgrade insurance. There's no incentive, and so businesses are closing. The whole idea of a mixed-use commercial is just useless. People are saying, what's the point of this? We'll just revert back to residential because there's no point.
Yep.
So this is going to affect the whole of mixed-use commercial around because people will realise this is a dark scheme and someone's going to be done.
I'll be very interested to hear what the outcomes are of your meeting with Andrew Barr tomorrow, did you say? Whenever it is, I'll be very keen to hear the outcomes, and if there's still an issue, please get in contact. We have had the Ombudsman look at the Revenue Office and some of its decision making and saying it's lacked natural justice and fairness. So if this is another example of that, well, we need to address that. So thank you. Any other questions? Oh. I think I achieved under 5 minutes.
Okay, just one question from Facebook. Have we had any movements in relation to Gungahlin East as to addressing issues associated with further employment? Prospectus to be created by the ACT government to include business as yet to be materialized. And Andrew Lay has promised this at the election forum. So do you have any information?
I'm not sure exactly what Andrew Lee promised. The prospectus was produced and disseminated. Unfortunately, it had no impact. And so I think this is coming back to one of the core themes of the Gungahlin Community Council survey in terms of what incentives are we putting in place to ensure we get retail and commercial and employment basically happening in the Gungahlin Centre. And so that's what we need to prosecute as an argument. And also, through that, address that the number of people who feel that every morning they have to get up and leave Gungahlin in order to go somewhere to work and then come back in the evening, which is putting demand on our roads and so forth. So that's further work required in that space.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Andrew. So probably we'll come back with you on the feedback on this. The survey outcome, and possibly we'll make it as an actionable items with you and the other members. thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in tonight, and thank you for you if you've joined online, and thank you very much, and thank you for coming down as well in this weather. It's greatly appreciated, and thanks for all the presenters today. Much appreciated. Thank you, Andrew, as well, and thank you, everyone. Have a great night. God bless. I'll see you in the next month public meeting. Thank you.